Hi guys, what's up? It's your girl Karen, aka cakedbybabyk, and welcome back to my channel. We are rating everything that I tried in the month of August. Yes, give me a round of applause for getting this video up before the month ends. Thank you, I know. Compared to last month, this month is slim pickings, especially when it comes to the makeup department. However, there are other categories that are going to make up for that. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's start off with makeup. I have the new One Size Boucle finishing powders. These retail for $40 each. There are 10 shades, and honestly, I don't really get it. There are very few finishing powders that I like, and I'm still kind of on the fence about this one. I have medium and medium golden, and from the first look, it doesn't really seem like there's much of a difference. This one is medium, and then this one is medium golden. At first, I thought medium golden would be the better match for me, and I actually took it on a puff, and this is what medium golden looks like. Obviously, it is very different from what it looks like in the component. And then on the side here, this one is the medium shade, so there's a side-by-side comparison on that as well. As I said before, these are not setting powders, but they are finishing powders, which means it's going to be one of the last steps in your makeup routine. Personally, I don't really use a finishing powder in my everyday makeup routine. If I had to compare these to a product that everybody knows and loves, it would probably be the Hourglass Ambient Lighting finishing powders. If you look closely, it kind of has that same marbled pattern on it. Now those retail for $30 and these are $40. However, the Hourglass ones, there's only 3 shades versus the 10 in this line. I'm going to continue to use this a few more times, but as I said before, finishing powders just aren't really my thing. So for now, I'm gonna give it a 2. However, let's talk about another product from One Size that I have been absolutely loving. You guys know I already ride really hard for the original Until Dawn formula. And this one is the new Until Dawn Mattifying Sunscreen Makeup Setting Spray. Now this is going to be SPF 28. You guys know how I feel about SPF in products that aren't actual SPF or sunscreens, I mean. When makeup has SPF in it, you have to use the correct amount to even get the sun protection factor. I feel like I've drilled this into your guys' heads whenever I talk about a product that has SPF. However, I am gonna give this one a pass because this is going to be great for reapplying your sunscreen, which personally, I am horrible about doing. I actually like this one better than the original formula. For some reason, the original formula can sometimes be a little bit too much. It can burn slightly. This one is a lot more airy, if that makes sense. It's a lot more light, or at least it feels that way. It doesn't have that burning sensation that I sometimes get with the original formula. As you can tell, it has that same amazing atomizer. It can also lock, and I know you're probably wondering, does it smell like sunscreen? A little bit, yeah, but it goes away, and it works just as well as the original. I wore this on the hottest day of the week. Last week when I went to Disney with my friends, we were sweating up a storm, okay? It was so gross and sticky. My makeup barely budged, and we were there from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. Did my makeup at 9 a.m. and then I took it off at 1 a.m. in the morning, so thank you, One Size. 5 out of 5. All right, let's talk about lips. You guys know, or maybe you don't, that I absolutely hate the Gisou lip oil. This is their original formula. I absolutely despise it. It feels like straight up oil on the lips. I know it is a lip oil, but this is an oil. I recently started this new series on my TikTok where I retry products that I absolutely hate. So I did try out one of the new shades they came out with. This one is the Sweet Plum shade, I believe. Yup, Sweet Plum. And I'm gonna swatch it on the back of my hand so you guys can try and look at the difference between the two formulas. I have heard that somewhere in the last few years, they did reformulate the original formula, and this one is the original formula. It smells kind of stale and rancid. The new one, however, they all have more delicious smelling scents, a little bit more fruity, and the formula is a little bit thicker. Did I say that already? If I didn't, there it is. So here is the original and here is the Sweet Plum shade. As you can tell, barely any pigment. So if you are a no makeup type of girly, you're probably going to like these. For me, however, look at this full face of glam. Okay, I need a little bit of pigment when it comes to my lip products. If you're unfamiliar with the Gisou brand, it is very honey centered. So these claim to be ultra hydrating. don't really find that to be the case because the formula is so thin. As someone with chronically dry lips, does absolutely nothing. And for $28, I need it to do a little something, okay? At least be a tad bit more pigmented, please. I know it's probably really hard to tell on camera, but it has been a few minutes with these swatches on the back of my hand. With the original formula, you can tell on the edges it's kind of drying already, but with the new one, that doesn't seem to happen, so I'm happy that the reformulation was an improvement in that sense. Listen, I'm happy I gave this another try, but I still don't really like it, so this is getting like a 0.5. 0.5 because I'm glad there have been improvements, but the improvements, not really doing much for me. Next. All right, the last makeup product that I have is from Revlon. This is their Super Lustrous Glimmer Gloss. I have this on my lips today, and when I first applied this, I was really impressed by the amount of shimmer that was in here. It's kind of what I wanted the Rare Beauty glosses to be. It's kind of hard to see the shift on camera, but depending on where you look at my lips, it can either look like it's more pinky or peachy. This one is in the shade Diamond Drama. Now, I like this, however, I've realized that when you apply too much of it, it kind of does this weird thing where it bubbles up on your lips. I don't know if it's interacting with other lip products or my saliva or something, but I have noticed that it's like a really weird phenomenon that happens if I apply too much sometimes. But for $11 and the accessibility, I'm gonna look a tad past that. I'm not completely blown away, but it isn't bad. I'm gonna give her a 3, which if you've watched my videos before, you'll know that's kind of in the same range as most lip products that I've tried. Said it before and I'll say it again, it's hard for lip products to impress me, okay? But moving on to skincare, I only have one item that I tried out in the month of August, and that is the Glow Recipe Prickly Pear Mucin. This is a lab sample, which is why it's clear and doesn't have the actual packaging. As y'all can tell, I've gone through almost half of this, and my first impression of this was that it smelled a little interesting. It doesn't smell bad, but it's not my favorite scent in the world. It definitely smells a little plant-y, like a plant. Here is the consistency, and it does have that like stringy texture that you would find in a snail mucin product. At first, I wasn't blown away, but then I kept on using it, and I am so glad that I stuck with it because I've really noticed a difference in my skin. This is what it looks like all blended out on my hand. It absorbs really quickly, which is always a plus in my book. This retails for $32, which I've found is a pretty good price point for being in Sephora. Obviously, yes, it's not super affordable, but it's not overly expensive either, which I can appreciate. Like I said before, I wasn't blown away when I first started using it. However, in the last week, I've noticed my skin in the mornings, it looks so incredible. Not to toot my own horn, but it do be looking pretty damn good in the mornings. And I realized it's because I started using this day and night. I was actually finishing up another bottle of the avocado serum that's also from Glow Recipe. You guys know I ride so hard for that one. But when I ran out, I exclusively started using this morning and night, and that's when I could really start to tell a difference in my skin. It was more glowy, more bouncy, overall just more healthy. They recently revealed that it was prickly pear mucin at their launch event. I believe they had one in Canada, and I saw people posting about it, and I was like, oh, I fully thought that this was actually snail mucin. I don't know why, because I know Glow Recipe is a vegan brand. I really love this. I know I said it smelled a little bit interesting, but that scent does not linger on the face. I don't want to go so far as to give it a 5 out of 5 because I've only used half the bottle, but for now I'm giving her a 4.5, which is pretty high, especially because it's still pretty early on and I have not finished the bottle yet. All right, moving on to hair, I also only just have one in this category. This is the new Perfect Powder Dry Shampoo, and you guys may have seen that I did go to an event that was put on by Lola V, and I did get to meet Jennifer Aniston. You guys, she was so nice. There was probably like 100 creators at this event, and she took her time to talk to every single one of us and take pictures with every single one of us. Honestly, so freaking crazy. However, you guys know that these events and these appearances and these meet and greets do not impact my opinion on a specific product. If anything, it makes me a little bit more critical because that means you're really putting your budget into this launch. Like, you're believing hard enough to have Jennifer Aniston go to a launch event. So this retails for $25, which I know you're probably thinking that's a little bit pricey for a dry shampoo, especially in a tiny ass bottle. However, this is a non-aerosol dry shampoo, meaning it only has the pump and it's not like a huge spray. It's not continuous. You do have to keep pumping in your hair to get that product to come out. The only other non-aerosol dry shampoo that I can think of off the top of my head is the one from Day, and I did not really like that one. The pump on that one is a little bit too big, and I remember it dispensing a lot of product into my hair in one spot. This one, you can see the pump is really small. I do have a dedicated TikTok about this dry shampoo, so I will link that down below if you guys are curious. This is talc free if anybody is curious. Personally, that's not a huge deal breaker for me if a product has talc or not. I'm a talc lover, okay? But if you guys are sensitive to it or you just don't want that in your products, important note, no talc in this. Now, is this my favorite dry shampoo? Unfortunately not. I much prefer an aerosol dry shampoo actually, because I have a lot of hair and my scalp gets pretty oily, okay? I am one of those people that my hair gets oily sometimes like by the end of the first day. As you may know, Asians are more genetically prone to have oilier scalps. So dry shampoo is my best friend. Yes, it is. And while it's not my favorite dry shampoo that I've tried, I do love how easy it is to take it on the go because it is so small. Keep it in my car, keep it in my purse. The one major downside, in my opinion, is that because it's non-aerosol, it takes me a pretty long time to spray enough product in my hair for it to look normal and not greasy, but I'm still gonna give her a 4 out of 5. All right, moving on to the body category. This is going to be very scent heavy, very fragrance heavy, but let's talk about these two items from Patrick Ta. This is from his body collection. We have the Major Glow High Shine Skin Perfecting Body Cream. This is massive. Like, I know I have small hands, but this is that's like my entire hand. This is pretty pricey, coming in at $58, but it is 7.4 fluid ounces. So this is gonna last you a long time, especially because this formula is really, really rich. A little bit goes a long way. I actually had this on my legs when I attended the Lola V event, and this is what my legs looked like the entire night. Granted, I did use a little bit too much, but hey, at least my legs looked poppin'. Just look at that glow. If you have dry skin, I think you're really going to like this. Me personally, the skin on my body, it's not too dry. So for me, if I use too much, it doesn't absorb all the way through, but you do get this really great body glow. So it's kind of a trade-off. I will say though, if you use a little bit too much, it can feel like a sensory nightmare for some people. However, if you use it sparingly, it's not gonna be too big of an issue. And we can't fully talk about this body cream without talking about the scent of this collection. And that ties into the Major Glow Hair and Body Fragrance Mist. This one comes out to $44, which if you compare it to other hair and body mists at Sephora, it is a little bit pricey. $44 for 3 fluid ounces. I have the Rare Beauty one here, which is 3.38 fluid ounces, and this one retails for $28. The Skylar one is 2.7 ounces, and that retails for $30. So just keep that in mind, but enough of that. Let's talk about these scent notes. I would describe this scent as a warm floral. It has bergamot, jasmine, amber, moss, and sandalwood. When you first apply it, it does smell a little bit sweeter, but once it's on your skin for a prolonged period of time, I really get that bergamot and that jasmine. It's floral, but it kind of leans more towards the clean side when it dries down a bit more. And personally, I am a big fan of clean scents, so this is right up my alley. And when I tried the body cream, I was really excited to have the fragrance mist as well. However, there is something going on in the manufacturing process, their factories, because when you spray this, it's just a stream, unfortunately, and it does leak. Now, I like the scent so much that I will be transferring it into perhaps a travel perfume spray, but I shouldn't have to do that. And I thought maybe it was just me, maybe I got a faulty one, but I went on the Sephora site and so many reviews are about the fact that the nozzle is faulty. Hopefully they fix it because I really do enjoy the scent. Gonna give the body cream a 3.8, and I'm gonna give the fragrance mist a 2.8 just because the nozzle really knocks it down. Now, I have yet to try the rest of the body collection, which is the Major Glow All Over Glow Balm and the Major Glow Nourishing Bronzing Body Oil. Someone's gotta do a better job at naming these because why are they such a mouthful? Let me know if you guys are curious about these and if you want them to be in next month's ratings video. And last but not least, we have to talk about the new fragrance collection from Rare Beauty. It is their biggest launch since they started the brand. I also had the privilege of going to the launch event. Selena was there. Unfortunately, I did not take a picture with her. I've met her a few times already. I was like, girl, we're good. What is my life? Isn't that crazy? I've met her a few times already. So at this point, I'm just like, I'm gonna let other people meet her first because they have not had the opportunity. Anyways, let's get into this fragrance. Personally, after reading the notes before smelling it, I thought that this was going to be a very, very sweet scent. And I was a little bit scared because I am not a sweet scent type of person. I mean, I am, but only when it's very specific to my preferences. This is what the bottle looks like. If you follow Rare Beauty or if you follow the beauty industry as a whole, you'll know that this bottle is made to truly be accessible to people with physical disabilities. Even if we compare it to the Patrick Ta fragrance nozzle, it's just one tiny thing versus on the Rare Beauty one, it's this whole top portion that you can press down to spray. There is a locking mechanism here as well. And the mist on this is just so fine. Oh my God. It smells so good. Like I mentioned before, I thought that this was going to be very sweet, and don't get me wrong, it is sweet. It has notes of vanilla, caramel, pistachio, sandalwood. Again, it's not as sweet as I thought it was going to be, which was a very, very pleasant surprise. When it dries down, it leans more towards the sandalwood note and the sweetness kind of evaporates a little bit, but it's still sweet. It's very much a sophisticated sweet, which I love because some scents are just pure sugar. And while I know a lot of people like that, it's not up my alley. The bottle is 1.69 fluid ounces, which is pretty standard for a regular eau de parfum, but the price of this is $75, which I feel like is pretty affordable for this size perfume. Most perfumes at Sephora retail for upwards of $100. Like that's the normal going rate for a perfume. These two are actually really similar in my mind in the fact that they are very much transitional fragrances. Like they're not so warm and cozy where you're fully into the fall cold seasons, but it's not light to where it's very summery. So it's the perfect, again, transitional fragrance from summer to fall. And along with the eau de parfum release, they also released 4 of their fragrance balms. I have the fresh one. This smells like bergamot, and the consistency definitely feels very dimethicone-esque. It feels like those 2016 Smashbox photo finish primers. I've noticed that this type of texture is making a comeback recently. Oh, it smells so good. You guys know I love a clean scent. I've mentioned that a few times in this video, I think, but with the clean scents, usually the fragrance tends to not last as long. And as I said before, these are meant for layering. However, when I layer these together, it really doesn't alter the scent of the perfume that much. I can't say that that's the case for the other 3 because I don't have the other 3, unfortunately, but just something to keep in mind if you're thinking about purchasing the layering balms. I feel like I haven't really seen anybody talk about this part of the launch. Mostly everyone's talking about the perfume, which makes sense. This is 0.67 fluid ounces and it retails for $19. Honestly, I would skip this, but if you do want to try this, then by all means go ahead. My tip would just be to use it pretty sparingly. I used, I guess, too much at the event when I was trying these out, and it got everywhere. It got all over my phone because, you know, like I'm having my phone in my hands, and it was not pretty. I was kind of annoyed because it was getting everywhere. And listen, that is fully on me for using too much. But because of the texture, the consistency, it doesn't really absorb into the skin. Like there's just that kind of slippy feeling when you apply it. 4.5 and 1. All right, you guys, that is everything that I tried in the month of August. Thanks so much for hanging out and yapping with me. I know that this month wasn't as jam-packed as months prior, but I still feel like we yapped a good amount. Let me know if you guys are curious about any of these new launches. I think aside from the Patrick Ta body collection items, most of these are pretty recent. So with that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.